Hello everybody, welcome to round 7 of the Vtracc challenge, brought to you by tracc.eu. This is Ruby Acosta and I'm joined alongside by Ivano EAB. Say hello, Ivano.
Hello there.
So today is the penultimate round of the championship, just one more to go after this. I believe after this it'll be Spa-Francorchamps. But for now, the drivers here today will have to sort of make sure they're still in the title fight, especially with Team Iris with such a huge lead. Speaking of the title fight, let's take a look at the standings coming after the Spanish V-Prix. So in first place, as we've been talking about before, Team Iris with a humongous lead coming into this race with 163 points. Lucas Lichten was last round's winner. Mirai United VTuber Racing Team with 82 points. That team consists of Briska Kyoso and Blanc Ryuzaki. 69 points in third place goes to Yukai Racing with Polukai and Aether Yuki. Fourth place with 63 points. Technoburst Racing Team, 55 in fifth is Yandere. Mirai United VTuber Racing Team, is in sixth. Gripbirds is in seventh. Heart Gas Racing Team is in eighth. Katsu Racing Team in ninth. And THFO Miracle Racing in 10th. So, Ivano, do you think So, I'm pretty sure the team's title is pretty much out of reach for anybody. But, who do you think has the most momentum to finish in second place in the team standing so far?
Well, I wouldn't really know what to say on that, because I wouldn't say there's like any guarantees between the elders and Yukai. Monza is like very unpredictable track as it is. So, despite its very simplistic layout, it's still very tough to get down right. So even the fastest drivers here might make mistakes which could shake up the championship. Then is going into the final round at Spa.
Yes, as we know, turn 1 at Monza is a very hectic place indeed. Let's check the highlights, however, for the last round at Valencia. Lucas Lichten was on pole, Polukai following right behind, and Rizka Kyoso. That was going to be sort of your biggest battle for the top 3 spots, but we did have quite a few mid-pack battles, especially in this race. Also, Peep the Pink Jag. Either way, we had some early drama with Isaac Umbras and Zen Q. Big incident there. Isaac Umbras had to sort of recover their way up into the field. However, thankfully, they did sort of recover from that incident. Zen Q did not get much damage there. And there is the Pink Jaguar. I was in this race last week, so this is why I was not in the commentary booth as usual. But going back to the other drivers, Isaac Umbras, again, as I said before, recovering for lost time, getting past DJ Overdrive there, and catching up to Eric Gregis, the Yukai Racing Team, I believe, Huracan. And then just more min-pack battles as Isaac Umbras caught back up to Zen Q in that number 9 McLaren 720S. Just a huge kerfuffle there between Zen Q, Isaac Umbras, and Eric Gregis. You can see here Zen Q and Isaac Umbras both going wide, and Gregis being able to pick up the pieces from that battle and gaining back 2 more spots. And, talking about Gregis, what a great debut they had. Here we have them battling against Amethysta. Amethysta, a regular, unfortunately not being able to race here today due to hardware failure. But Amethysta also was in the action, especially in the last lap, with Lucas Lichten and Rizka Kyoso almost having an incident with them. Fortunately, Lucas Lichten was able to get away clean, and we have our last week's winner, which is Lucas Lichten, of course, in that number 77 McLaren 720S. So, Lucas Lichten, the most dominant driver, I think, well, actually, the most dominant driver in Vtracc history. I'm not sure even Yukari Kagorizaka could top that. Do you think Lucas Lichten's gonna still be on form today as we get to qualifying now?
I'd say Lucas definitely does have a high chance of putting on yet another dominating effort, but you never know what's gonna happen. As you said before, Monza T1 can get pretty hectic. So let's see if any unfortunate events will occur that might hinder Lucas's domination so far.
So here we go. The first competitive session, I would say, qualifying is about to get underway. We see Moritz Sickup getting out of the pits and into the first chicane. Turn 1, always such a hectic corner here in this track. I know it way too well. With all my competitive races here, just one little mistake can turn into a huge, huge pileup at this corner. Just what a pain it can be for our competitors here.
Yeah, Monza T1, as we said, it can get pretty chaotic. But I mean, even after the chaos, you can still make a decent recovery drive if people keep making mistakes, which is not that hard to come by with Monza's surprisingly difficult to get down lap.
Monza is such a sort of a track where there's not a lot of turns. Rather, I mean, there are a few turns, but they're so like they aren't as complex as many in the circuit. So you do need to be as perfect as you can be and get those sort of entries and exits and braking zones perfectly correct, or else you're going to be losing a lot of time. Just such a small margin of error at this track. Just need to be super consistent and just make sure you have your head on straight, especially. And don't overdo yourself in the braking, because it could be a huge disaster here, as we see Moritz Sickup coming into the Parabolica, about to turn their first flying lap. This probably won't be the fastest laps of the session, as we see the track is in a fast condition, so not yet going to be any lap records here. But we'll see how everybody's pace stacks up, sort of get a good indicator of who's hot and who's not.
Yep, exactly. And as we're looking at Moritz Sickup, I want to say a little thing about them. I kind of respect the commitment to the old McLaren 720S. Like, ever since Moritz came to the tracc.eu racer lineup, they've been just in that 720S, in and out, even after the Evo came out, which, there's something admirable about that.
Oh, maybe they do not want to paint another 720S, which the 720S does seem like a hard car to paint. But, I mean, yeah, it is. But, I mean, yeah, other than that, it is very commendable, especially. I wonder how the pace is compared, or I wonder how differently it drives to the Evo. But, I guess we'll see how it stacks up as we see Moritz Sickup coming into the first pair of the Lesmos exiting corner. It looks pretty okay. It doesn't look super fast. Now into the second Lesmo corner, going into this runoff here. Yeah, this lap does not seem too super fast. However, as I said before, the track condition is only on fast, so we're not going to see the best lap times just yet.
Or Moritz could have been taking it a bit safe through the Lesmos, which honestly, from my personal experience, I'd rather take careful than take it fast.
You see Moritz coming into the final straight until they get to Parabolica. You can see Risco Kyoso actually in the background there, just for a bit. Risco Kyoso now in the 720S for Mirai United VTuber racing team. So switch over from the Ferrari. Probably people sort of seeing how powerful the 720S is. Hopefully that will change soon. But we'll see next season coming into the start-finish straight. Moritz Sickup gets a 148.537. We'll see what Risco Kyoso gets here. Risco Kyoso, I believe, actually is on his outlap, so nothing yet. Palu Kai with a lap time of 149.062, and Lucas Lichten with a 149.777. Palu Kai probably getting the toe there coming into the chicane, but this might be a little bit of a problem, especially since having traffic in qualifying is not what you want.
Yeah, and especially in these GT3 cars, which, even though they're not as aerosensitive as maybe like an open wheeler, they can still experience some level of dirty air and like aero wash. So being stuck behind somebody in qualifying could hinder them, especially into these corners at Monza.
As we see Psycho Kaiser exiting the Parabolica, we'll see what Psycho Kaiser has to do here in the Technoburst Aston Martin. coming across the start-finish line now. That is going to be 4th overall for the moment, 149.875. So not really much super fast laps. I mean, it is pretty okay, but I mean, it's definitely not what we're expecting, especially with the track conditions being pretty okay compared to Tracc.GT last week. But as I keep saying, track conditions are not the best, so probably you'll have to have a few laps from the drivers in this session to make them super, I guess a bit more grippy, not super grippy. Here we have Vtracc exiting the Parabolica, well in the middle of the Parabolica, but now exiting it. Let's see what Vtracc has to do here. Still on top of the leaderboard. Actually goes into the pits, so never mind on that. We'll take a look at Vtracc, however, about to set his first flying lap. That's top of the leaderboard, 148.167. So pretty good first lap for the Elders team.
It seems like Vtrac's really gotten the hang of Monza already after just a few minutes of driving.
As he goes off, don't want to do that in the race. Meanwhile, we have Psycho Kaiza, who is improving by quite a bit, about a 1.5 seconds. Pretty impressive improvement. That's probably going to be a pretty good lap actually. So might be enough to grab the pole spot if he can put it together here, exiting the Parabolica. Pretty not a tricky sort of turn, but what am I saying? Every turn at this track is tricky because you just have to be perfect. Not like that, as Psycho Kaiza actually got the rear end to sort of squirm around a bit. Not going to help his speed coming out to the exit here to the start finish. That's going to be 2nd for the moment, 148.412.
As you said, all of the corners at Monza are a bit tricky, but I feel like Parabolica is a bit more of a special case compared to the rest of the corners because it does, besides precision, it also kind of enforces you to be a bit patient. Because if you get on the throttle too early, as we saw with Takaza, you're going to start spinning the rears up and you're going to lose a bunch of speed going down to T1, because that is a pretty long straight.
We'll see how Lucas Lichten handles the Parabolica. Lucas Lichten, the points leader in both categories, both the team and drivers. Lucas Lichten probably going to be the most dominant driver if he keeps up his form. We'll see how he takes the Parabolica. Ooh, got a little bit sideways there, and as a result, goes wide off the track. That might be invalidated lap. We'll see what the time and scoring says here as he crosses the line. No, it's not going to register. And even then, that wasn't going to be much of an improvement. That was only going to be 5th as Ryoma Kirihara sets a lap time of 149.300. We missed that. Meanwhile, we missed Vtracc. Oh, never mind. We did not miss Vtracc going to the top of the leaderboard. Vtracc was already on the top of the leaderboard before that. So, actually, what we did miss was Akito Suzugawa getting on top, topping Vtracc with a 148.155. So, that is a huge development here in this qualifying session. We'll see if he's able to improve even further. However, he has Isaac Umbras in the way.
As he heads through Curva Grande, there we have Akito Suzugawa. He's actually a previous pole sitter at Monza, if I'm not mistaken. That was all the way back during his Lexus days, which I kind of miss. I do miss Aki in the Lexus.
He was very excited to do this race, especially on I saw on Twitter Twitter, or X as you could say, X formerly known as Twitter, a few moments ago. He was very excited to do this race. He said he had his first podium here, so expect to see good things from this driver. We'll see. We'll check back on Lucas Lichten, though, who is improving again. We'll see if he's able to get the Parabolica just right this time. Lucas Lichten off to a pretty slow start so far. Might just be a little bit of kicking a little bit of the rust out.
Yeah, it seems like he hasn't quite gotten the hang of Monza so far compared to everybody else, which I'm sure he'll start improving. And I mean, hey, you don't win the race in qualifying, so you never know what might happen.
Yes, but it's very tricky to win the race from not deep in the field like 6th. 6th is not super deep. However, you're gonna need to make up a lot of positions from there, as we see Lucas Lichten abort his qualifying lap. So we'll take a look at Vtracc, who has jumped to 3rd place with a 148.170. So top of the leaderboard. Top 3 are super close. Nothing separating these 3, so it's definitely going to be a pretty tight battle here coming into the race.
Yeah, it seems like we're gonna have a very, very solid fight for the win. Not just for podium spots, for the win. But even then, the top 6 are just very close to each other as a whole. So we're gonna have an exciting race today, I think.
Let's take a look at the rest of the field qualifying today. We have Cody Lionheart and the Dragstorm Heart Gas Racing Team 296 about to complete another qualifying lap. He's been doing pretty well in the 296. The car changed, treating some drivers pretty well. We'll see if it treats... Well, it's just been treating Riska Kyosa pretty well. So, pretty powerful thing to do if you're struggling this season. We'll see what Cody Lionheart has to do here. Jumps Imetric Zanes with a 149.800. So, a good lap from the German VTuber. We'll take a look at Imetric Zanes, who's also on a lap in the Yandere Racing McLaren. Yandere Racing, one of the drivers who has been finding pace more and more every week. It's very exciting to see.
Metric seems to be very confident going into this run of Monza. It's nice to see him be as fast as he is today.
You know what, I'm taking a look at the time and scoring. Nothing yet changing so far at the top. So it is still Akito Asuzugawa, Riska Kyoso, and Moritz Hiccup, your top 3 in this qualifying session. Polu Kai just outside of the starting podium spots as Akito Asuzugawa gets another fast lap in. As before I go on that, Imetric Zanes jumps 2 positions ahead of Isaac Umbras and Cody Lionheart with a 149.675, so a great lap from him. However, we're taking a look at Akito Asuzugawa, who has just set his best lap time, 148.0. So Akito definitely on form today.
Yep, it seems like we're getting closer and closer to that 47 mark. Do you think we're gonna have somebody break the 47s in this quali session?
I think so. We still have just 7 minutes to go, and the track state has to get better from here. So we'll see, honestly, as we have a car spun around. I believe that's Polu Kai. I'm not sure how they got that way, but pretty interesting to note. But either way, you'll take a look at Reisuke Kyosa, who also aborts his qualifying lap. So we'll go back to Psycho Kaiza. As we see, I believe that was Akito Suzugawa exiting the pits. So Akito not satisfied yet. He does want to break into the 47s, and somebody definitely will break into the 47s. Question is, who will it be?
I feel like I feel like it has to be one of the McLarens. You know, that thing is just that thing seems especially strong here. But I have seen the Ferrari have pretty solid pace around here as well as Akito is showing. So I feel like it's hard to decide between the McLarens of Reska and Hiccup and the Ferrari of Akita. I think we're just gonna have to wait and see.
And are you surprised by how much Lucas has been struggling relatively so in the compared to the past few rounds? Usually he's out on top already at this point of the qualifying session, but for some reason he is down in 6th, which is not too bad, but not something that you would expect from such a dominant driver here.
I mean, all forms of momentum will come to a halt eventually. So I think Lucas might have finally burnt out the momentum, I guess you could say, but
You could
we'll
also
see. Maybe you can recover. Maybe you can recover. There's still 5 minutes left in quali after all.
You could also say that maybe the rest of the field has stepped up their game also as well. Psycho Kaiza unfortunately had invalidated his lap going over the curbs at Ascari. So we'll take a look at Ryoma Kirihara, who also invalidates their lap going over the curbs at Ascari. Ascari is just such a tricky part of the track. Have to be so precise going over those curbs, make sure not to be turning it into the corner too much, or else the car will just sort of buck around and spin out on you, and you just have to sort of save it.
Or if you go into them wrong enough, you can also become a rocket ship.
That too.
Yeah, I speak from personal experience.
So here we go. Psycho Kaiza about to embark on another flying lap here. We'll see what this entails. Coming into the second chicane. Gets a little bit of a good gain there. Actually, no, loses a lot of time off of that second bounce off the sausage curb. We'll see as he enters the first Lesmo if this improves the time any bit. Not really. Now into the second Lesmos, into this long straight, into the run, into Ascari. Goes a little bit wide into the grass, so has his left tires a little bit dirty, but should be clean once he gets into the braking zone for Ascari. The big run down into there, then hard braking, have to cut the inside curb. There he goes. Now he messed up here last time round. So far so good. However, this lap is not as fast as his fastest lap. So unless he does something pretty spectacular in Parabolica, it might not be an improvement over his 148.412.
It seemed like he was trying to go a bit too fast through Lesmo 2 and kind of just overshot it, and then had a bit of a moment on the exit of Ascari, getting a bit too much bounce off of the inside curve.
You know, I have seen esports drivers, really top-level esports drivers, sort of intentionally get on the grass, exiting the second Lesmos. Like, they get half their car onto the grass, half their car on the sort of runoff area. I'm not sure how it works, and I'm not sure even if it works anymore, but it is pretty interesting. People just sort of widen the track as much as possible, even if it is on the grass, so I've yet to see anybody do that today.
Last time I tried to go on the grass at Lesmo too, it kind of broke my suspension and front bumper.
Yeah,
I wouldn't suggest it to everybody.
Yeah, it might be a really specific use case scenario. We'll take a look at the rest of the field, not just the front runners, but also some of the drivers in the mid-pack. Cody Lionheart improving on his best lap time in the Ferrari 296. About to enter the Parabolica. To a driver that still has not set a time yet, Jordan Brent. Hopefully Jordan is okay. No hardware issues there. Somebody goes off. That is Isaac Umbras. I heard somebody go off. That is the 2016 AMG. Pretty old car there. But we'll take a look at Cody Lionheart about to complete this lap. It is going to be an improvement, but how much? It's going to be a 149.387, so he's able to jump iMetric Zanes, and he's not going to stop. So he's going to keep trying to improve his lap time here. You know, I'll take a look at Lucas Lichten, who is still trying to improve, but not improving by a lot, actually, just 100th. So it's not going to be enough to sort of penetrate the top three's armor, but hopefully, well, actually, no, let's see here. Goes up 2/10ths, actually. Excuse me. Now 3/10ths entering Parabolica. Now exiting here. Loses just a bit of time. No, actually. This is a good lap. This might be enough. We'll see. It is going to be second place for Lucas Lichten. So he's back in he's back in town.
He's back in his form there. He just needed to start warming up to Monza. And now as we look at the top 4 in qualifying, Aki has almost a 10th on Lichten, Kyoso, and Ega, but then those 3 are within 0.5 thousandths of each other. I think. Yeah, 5 thousandths.
Yeah, it is super close here. And nobody's gotten to the 47s yet. But if there is a driver to do it, it is this one, Lucas Lichten of Team Iris, who has just been showing such blinding pace round after round. Just incredible to see. Speaking of blinding pace, Akito Suzugawa is on a flyer here, about to maybe break the 47 barrier.
Aki seems like he's not looking to give up his whole time.
He slides into a Ascari that might not. Oh my goodness. Okay. We'll see. No, this is going to be his final qualifying lap. So that slide into Ascari might have cost him any potential improvement. However, it doesn't seem like anybody is able to sort of challenge the top 3 as I believe only Moritz Thickup has crossed the line in time to set another qualifying lap. So this will be the final lap for Akito Suzugawa, Lucas Lichten, and Reisuke Kyoso. All three of those drivers not improving at all. Akito Suzugawa has improved, and he finishes his qualifying session. Lucas Lichten going into the pits. He's done for today. Reisuke Kyoso just about to improve on his lap. It's very fine margins, though, coming to Parabolica. Hard on the brakes into this right-hander, having to rotate the car just ever so much. However, just having to keep the traction here for the exit. We'll see. Ooh, it's a very slight improvement. I'm not sure it's going to be nearly enough. No, that's going to be... No, not enough. We'll see what Moritz Thickup has to do here. Moritz Thickup still has quite a bit of the track to go. Now to run down into Ascari. Moritz, let's see what you can do here in the old 720S. Now into Ascari, hard on the brakes. Let's see how they attack the corners here. Oh, goes sideways, super sideways. That's not, he gives up. He was actually improving on his lap, so I'm not sure why he gave up there.
Probably I mean, the car seems to have gotten a bit too loose on him, and after going onto the gravel on the exit of the corner, on the exit of Ascari, I don't think he wants to really take Parabolica with dirty tires.
So here we go. Your pole position holder is Akito Suzugawa. Well done to him. I believe that's going to be his first pole in quite a while. So now it is time for the race.
And also, I'm just realizing now we have, remembering now we have two special liveries for, I believe, the Heartgas squad.
We do indeed. Cody Lionheart and Ryoma Kirihara both starting alongside each other with sort of the Italian colors on their car.
Yep. Oh, they have their promo shots right there. Play that.
So we'll go over your starting lineup once again. Akito Suzugawa is your pole starter, with Lucas Lichten, the current points leader, in second place. Reisuke Kyoso is in third, with Moritz Thickup in fourth. Palu Kai in the Valentino Rossi tribute livery in fifth. Psycho Kaiza in sixth for Technoburst Racing. Ryoma Kirihara for Dragstorm, once again, as we both said before and pointed out, in the Italian colors in seventh. Cody Lionheart. Oh, actually, somebody disconnected. That is Reisuke Kyoso. Oh dear. So, in ninth we have Imetric Zanes. 10th is Isaac Umbras. 11th is Eric Gregus. 12th is Rima Tateyama. And 12th and 13th is Jordan Branch, who has not set a lap time in the qualifying session. So, a little bit of an interesting thing going on here. Reisuke Kyoso has sort of disappeared from the starting grid. Well, somebody Jordan else has. Jordan Branch as well.
That's what the... Oh, Jordan's back. But Jordan's back, but Reisuke is not.
Yeah, Reisuke is not back, and unfortunately for him, just, oh my goodness. So as Akito Suzugawa sets off for the formation lap, so looks like everybody else will inherit a place. So basically take what I said for the starting order, but just promote everybody a position ahead, whoever it was behind Reisuke Kyoso. So unfortunately for the Elders driver, it's not going to be a third place start. It might not even have a start, considering like he is not back yet. Oh my goodness, just such bad luck.
Yeah, not sure what happened to him there. Maybe a disconnect, maybe the game just suddenly decided to crash out of nowhere, but let's hope we can fix the issue and at least maybe get a start from the pits and maybe make a bit of a recovery drive.
Hopefully, there he is, back in the race session in the pits. Hopefully for his sake, we will have like a 10-car pileup in turn one, so that he can sort of get his third place back. Actually, no, let's not wish for that. Let's wish for a very clean race here.
But yeah, I was about to say, you know, it wouldn't be fun for for this grid to have a 10-car pileup.
So now, Moritz Hiccup will be starting in the third position, and Moritz Hiccup is definitely a very ambitious driver, always going for any move that they can find. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here in turn 1, if they can get the jump on Lucas Lichten, and either or, Akito Suzukawa, Paul Kai, also one of those very, very aggressive drivers. I don't want to say aggressive, but rather just very enthusiastic. Aggressive, though, that goes to Psycho Kaiser, who is very much psycho. It's going to be a fun race to watch here, especially coming into these first few laps. Lucas Lichten probably getting close to Akito Suzukawa, probably trying to get into his head, saying that, hey, that first position is mine, let me have it.
and he's feeling that side mirror, and you know, it might not seem like much, but that is actually a real life tactic that apparently real life racing drivers will use. Now, get in your side view mirror just to let you know that they are there. I think Lucas might be trying to do that with Aki a little bit. No, it's Aki's first pole in a while. He's probably nervous, so Lucas might be aware of that and might be trying to take advantage. Maybe catch him a bit of sleep going into T1.
Yeah, and Lucas has nothing to lose here with such a huge lead. However, he can't not afford to just be sleeping here to start either way, because I believe a bad result here could still keep the championship battle going on until the final round at Spa. And Spa is also a very difficult track, so definitely not somewhere you want to sort of contest your championship battle. However, as we go, a double folio here, we're about to get started for the Italian V-Prix here. So it is Akito Suzukawa on the right-hand side, about to come to the Parabolica. Lucas Lichten on the left-hand side of the track. Well, actually, that's gonna be turn around once they get into this main straight. Yeah. Don't mind me. I'm a bit directionally challenged, but yes, here we go. Weaving their tires, getting any heat into the brakes if they can. Let's see if Akito Suzukawa can hold on to first and give a great battle for us to watch here against Lucas Lichten, Moritz Hiccup, and Paul Kai. Will there be an upset today? Will there be a huge crash given to turn 1? Will everybody be safe? There's only one way to tell as we come to the green flag here. The green flag is out, and here we go. Akito Suzukawa gets a great start on Lucas Lichten, and just behind we have Moritz Hiccup and Paul Kai battling. Paul Kai Paul Kai doesn't gain anything. Moritz Hiccup's able to keep that third spot. As you see there, actually, Psycho Kaiser is about to attack Paul Kai for that fourth. Oh, Paul Kai goes wide, and there's contact. Oh my goodness! Lucas Lichten goes wide, spins out, and that promotes Moritz Hiccup to second position. Now Moritz Hiccup is battling Akito Suzukawa for the first spot. Coming into the second chicane here, they are side by side. This is amazing to watch. Unfortunately for Lucas Lichten, he is mired all the way, I believe, and oh my goodness, not even 6th or 7th. That is absolutely like 9th position there, as Akito Suzukawa is able to defend his position from Moritz Hiccup. Coming into the first Lesmos, it is Akito, Moritz, Psycho, Cody Lionheart. Gained so many spots there. Imetric Zanes, Lucas Lichten, Eric Gregus, Isaac Umbris, Paul Kai, Ryoma Kirihara, and the rest of the three behind are starting from the pits. So we will keep going on here. So it is Akito Suzukawa and Moritz Hiccup, your lead battle here.
To head through Ascaria, and I will say, from personal experience driving, racing and fighting against Moritz Hiccup, you do not want to fall asleep. You don't want to leave any smallest bit of opening, because when that happens, Moritz will take it.
Meanwhile, we'll take a look back at Lucas Lichten, who is mired back in 6th position, stuck behind Imetric Zanes. Monza, just such a tough track to overtake at. You need to be perfect, you need to be precise, and you need to be really brave on the brakes. As we see here, we'll take a look back into turn 1. We'll see if Moritz Hiccup will do anything here at turn 1. Too far away to do anything here, so we'll take a look back at Lucas Lichten, who is definitely close enough to make a move here on iMetric Zanes. So here we go, onto the inside. Ooh, does thinks better of it. That would have been, actually no, pretty much makes iMetric Zanes give the position away. So Lucas Lichten back up to 5th. However, that's going to be, that's a lot of time lost on the start with that spin.
Yep, as you said before, with how difficult it is to overtake around Monza, it's gonna be coming down to psychological battles at best for positions. It seems like Lucas Lichten has been able to get the better of Mentrix there.
Another driver who has lost so many spots at the start of this race, Palu Kai, having a battle against all these mid-pack drivers, so definitely not the start you want here today in that tribute livery, a beautiful livery. However, I don't know if a livery will give you any more speed or luck to get past these drivers here. As you see Palu Kai now onto the back of iMetric Zane, so we'll see if they have anything for them coming into Ascari. He has the toe, definitely.
Yeah, so you know what, I think it's going to be smarter for him to just stay back and maybe make a move through Parabolica, as Ascari is not really somewhere that you want to go too wide through.
So Palu Kai just sort of biding their time, making sure that they're not making rash decisions here, as we have Ryoma Kirihara fighting for the 9th spot against Isaac Umbras. Isaac Umbras sort of back there in the back in the pack. Maybe the AMG sort of struggling as Ryoma Kirihara gets into the inside of Isaac Umbras, entering Parabolica, and sort of takes the 9th spot pretty emphatically, as we see going back to Palu Kai right on the back of iMetric Zanes in the Yandere Racing 720S. 720S versus 720S here. Looks like Palu Kai will beat him under the braking and dive into the inside coming into the first chicane, and pretty much clears them coming out of it. So that is another position gain for Palu Kai. However, not the start that they wanted, especially just going wide into turn 1. So we did have a bit of that turn one drama there, though it was not the drivers that I expected to have it. Lucas Lichten and Palu Kai, oh my goodness. Meanwhile, we have Cody Lionheart in the 4th position, so great drive so far. However, Lucas Lichten is sort of sneaking back there, kind of like Jaws. Sort of cue the Jaws theme, as Cody Lionheart's going to have to do the most defensive driving he's ever done in his racing career to hold off the charging Lucas Lichten, who is probably insanely frustrated.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's going to be an easy pass for Lucas Lichten, because I will say Cody is a very, very solid defender, and he can, you know, hold up the pressure pretty well as well. So if Lucas does want to make a pass, it's going to be just down to all-out pace. It's not going to be any psychological battles or anything of that sort. If Lucas wants to get past, he's just going to have to outdrive Cody around Monza.
So there we go. Actually, it looks like Lucas Lichten got a lot of speed coming into Parabolica. Actually, might be a bit of a stalemate here, as Cody Lionheart gets a bit of a, I don't know, actually, I can't really tell, because the 720S is just so strong on the exits here. So much traction from that mid-engine car. The 296 also has it, but the 720S is just another beast. As you see Lucas Lichten about to sort of maybe dive into turn 1, not quite. Actually, oh my goodness, that would have been very interesting. Actually, nearly makes the outside work. Oh my goodness, oh no. Cody Lionheart gets turned around by Lucas Lichten. We'll see on the replay, see what happened there. Looks like Lucas Lichten kind of got into the outside there, and did Cody Lionheart turn into him? Hard to tell.
It's very hard to tell. It seems like into the on entry, it seems like Lucas had kind of overshot, but just only slightly. Was able to recover, but didn't have the space to make a move. Tried to back out, then Cody was a bit slowish on exit, and that seems to have been what happened. But it's gonna be down to the stewards to decide on what happened there.
Yeah, that was a very awkward sort of incident there. Not really able to tell who was at fault, or if it's just a racing incident. But meanwhile, back to the action here. iMetric Zanes holding up 6th position. That is Eric Gregus behind him, and Ryoma Kirihara in the other Heart Gas car, the Aston Martin. And behind that Aston Martin, it is Isaac Umbras. As we see Polo Kai's around.
That is Polo Kai, who's off the track at a start.
Oh, goes over the curb at Ascari, and oh, that is a huge off. That is a lot of damage. Yes, and I don't think Flex Tape is going to fix that.
Yeah, I mean, Flex Tape can fix up a boat. I don't know if it's going to fix up a GT car.
As you see, iMetric Zane's actually lost 2 positions while we were looking at that replay from Ryoma Kirihara and Eric Gregus, 2 new drivers in this series that have been making great debuts, great showings, and we see Reisuke Kyoso at the start from the pits, maybe from a technical issue, I'm not sure, but he's making up ground as well, as we see iMetric Zane's, oh, they make contact coming into turn 1. iMetric Zane's giving it the spot, this sort of very sporty move there to Eric Gregus, however, no harm, no foul, though he might lose a spot to Isaac Umbras and Reisuke Kyoso coming into the second chicane. So that one little mistake is going to cost him big.
Yeah, but they go almost 3 wide into De La Rocha.
Reisuke Kyoso, oh my goodness. Reisuke Kyoso just trying to make up any time he can just from that pit lane start, as he is now in the back of Eric Gregus of the Yukai Racing Team Hodokan.
It seems like that pit start hasn't really slowed down Reisuke at all. He's on a insane recovery drive already looking to get into P6, I think.
Actually, no, it is I'm not sure actually. The timing board is not P6. Yes, you're correct. As we have a yellow flag on the circuit, not sure what that is for. That is for Lucas Lichten. Oh my goodness, from bad to worse for the Team Irish driver. Oh, another victim of the Ascari curbs. Oh my goodness. Thankfully, it doesn't get into the wall as hard as Polo Kai did. However, that is going to be a major setback for the current points leader. Just what drama is just unfolding today as we see Lucas Lichten behind actually the driver that he did sort of have issues with, Cody Lionheart. So might be a little interesting to see how this unfolds. Maybe just maybe no harm, no foul between the two. Actually, the flashing lights there, so Lucas Lichten might be very frustrated. Driving frustrated might be a big factor in these mistakes because, especially if you make a mistake early, you're just trying to gain back, claw back all that time you've lost. And if you don't keep your cool, you can make these mistakes like Lucas Lichten and Polo Kai just did.
Yeah, it seems like with the bad start that Polo Kai had, and so did Lucas Lichten, it seems like they're overdriving the car a bit much and making all these mistakes. And they're both like capable drivers. All it takes is like a nice keeping yourself level-headed and just trying to wind down the laps. If you get frustrated, you're just gonna keep making even more mistakes. So hopefully Lucas can find his composure again and start chugging those laps through, and I'm sure he'll be fun as we look back at Psycho Kaiser having a bit of a peek on the inside of a square.
Actually, very interesting. Actually, very interesting there. I think Moritz Sikov actually lost a lot of time to Akito. Not sure what happened there, but we do have a battle here for second position. Akito just about 5 seconds ahead of, yes, look at that, 5 seconds ahead of these two drivers. So I'm not sure if Moritz Sikov made a big mistake there that would cost them that much time, or maybe, ooh, there's another mistake there going wide in Parabolica.
Talking about mistakes going very wide at Parabolica, but it might kind of help him. And now he has the slipstream on Psycho Kaiser. It's going to be a drag battle. I believe the Aston Martin does have the power advantage, but with the slipstream, the McLaren should keep up pretty well as they head down side by side into turn 1. Who's going to outbreak the other? It seems like Psycho Kaiser is going in front of Moritz Hiccup, as it seems like he's taking the exit a bit too tight compared to Moritz Hiccup. They're going to be side by side through Curva Grande as well. Looks of it. Nope, Moritz backs out, wants to take the slipstream once again. Now, down to De La Rocha.
Ooh, in the inside.
They will go. Ooh. Have a pick up the inside. Psycho's defensive.
Psycho's defensive, but will he have the drive on the exit to sort of hold on Moritz Sikkup, because Moritz Sikkup definitely has speed to do it. Moritz Sikkup peeking to the inside for the first Lesmos. No, not enough space for the old 720S driver as he gets a little loose there, so and loses a lot of time there. Maybe the rear is just not sort of complying with that McLaren driver, so maybe that's why we've seen such a big time loss between them and the current race leader, Akito Suzukawa, and now it is Saiko Kaisa's turn to try and catch Akito Suzukawa. Meanwhile, we have a battle here between iMetric Zanes and Isaac Umbras for in the mid-pack, and you can see there again, Lucas Lichten just stuck behind the Hart Gas driver, Cody Lionheart.
As we head down to Scar, we have two separate battles here, all covering from P7 to P10. Going through Ascari. I will say one thing. If I had to say something about Mentrix, I'd say Monza is probably one of his better tracks. The times I've seen Mentrix drive here, he's always been relatively fast compared to other tracks that he's driven in the past.
Oh my goodness, Lucas Lichten with a huge lunge on the inside. Cody Lionheart, though, has the advantage on the exit because just how much Lucas Lichten had to slow down there. So we'll see if he can sort of get a cutback here coming into turn 1 into the first chicane. Lucas Lichten just really struggling with this track. Unfortunately for this driver, it's just not gone well for them this weekend. He's just been mired in the mid-pack whole race, making mistakes. Sort of been struggling with pace early on in the qualifying session. As we see going side by side into Curva Grande potentially. Going around the outside and might have the speed here, but that speed's going to be diminished going around the longer way around the track. Cody Lionheart is defending for all that he's got here. A little bit of bump drafting maybe as Lucas Lichten might have it here. And meanwhile we have, oh my goodness, Isaac Umbras was about to dive in too. But Cody Lionheart is staying put. He does not want to give up that 9th spot. And credit to him.
Yeah, like I mentioned before, Cody's a very, very solid defender when it comes to these tight circuits. It seems like it's kind of his specialty is defending in tight circuits. But it seems like out of Lesmo 2, Lucas does seem to have a peek up the inside. But let's see if the power of the Ferrari does give Cody a bit of an advantage. It does, as they head to Ascari single file again. Now, if I'm not wrong, Cody is faster than Isaac and Mentrix, but all this fighting is kind of putting them back around Mentrix and Isaac's pace. So it's now just this 4-car train for P7.
Indeed, just sort of Mentrix Zanes being the sort of train, train conductor. There we go. The train conductor of this 4-car battle here. And as we see Lucas Lichten dive into the pits, probably had enough, probably want to sort of have some clear track. So now it is between Cody Lionheart and Isaac Umbras. So Isaac Umbras getting a little bit better as the race goes on. You see, actually, iMetric Zane actually both... Oh my goodness! Oh no! How did that not end in tears?
Somehow... Okay, Cody does give Isaac the position back by the look of things. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that was pretty lucky.
Mentrix somehow survives being obliterated by an Italian torpedo, as Cody's already looking up the inside of Isaac.
Oh, nearly spins out and gets to grips with the Ferrari there, but unfortunately loses a lot of time to Isaac Umbras. So Cody Lionheart is going to have to claw all that time back up like a lion. He has the heart of a lion. I'm not sure how that works, but...
Yeah, it works. Don't worry about it. But it seems like Cody really wants to just push now that the pressure from Lucas is finally gone.
Meanwhile, we have Rizka Kyoso starting from the pits, now in 5th position. A great race so far from the Mirai United VTuber racing team driver. However, he probably wanted more given his original starting spot. But not too bad. Right on the back of Ryoma Kirihara, who's been having a pretty good race so far. However, Rizka Kyoso has something else to say about it, as we see coming into the main stretch, completing another lap here. Rizka Kyoso not quite in the slipstream enough. However, he is just sniffing in the back of that Vantage V8 coming into the first chicane. As you can hear the other cars of Moritz and Saiko Kaisa in the background. So Riska Kyoso not too far behind from the podium. However, it's going to take a lot of hard driving to catch up with them.
Yeah, after Reska does pass Kirihara, there's a big gap to Hiccup. So I wonder if he might stay behind Kirihara or maybe try to work with the Aston driver, but only time will tell. But I feel like if I was in Reska's shoes, I might try to like catch the front runners a little bit by just giving Kirihara a slipstream and then Kirihara giving Reska a slipstream. But I don't know if that kind of inter-team teamwork is gonna happen.
Well, I was about to say something about Riska Kyoso's lap time, but we do have a battle here for the second position, again, between Psycho Kaiza and Riska Kyoso, as you can see the lap car of Jordan Bunch in the background picture there. But Psycho Kaiza and Moritz Hiccup in a pretty tight battle here. But back to what I was saying about Riska Kyoso. Riska Kyoso is running a 48.997 for his last lap. Meanwhile, Ryoma Kirihara has only been running a 49.260, so it might be better for Riska Kyoso to get around as soon as he can, since he does have the upper hand in pace. Ryoma Kirihara might benefit from getting that toe. However, I feel like Riska Kyoso would actually benefit a lot from getting past as soon as possible. Either that, or just diving into the pits, getting that mandatory stop early. Granted, he doesn't get into any more traffic here, as getting back into the action here, looks like Moritz Hiccup is very close to making a move on Psycho Kaiza. It might be a matter of time before these positions swap hands. Meanwhile, back there for the fourth position, we have Riska Kyoso and Ryoma Kirihara. As we were saying, Riska Kyoso, overcooks it a bit, so he will have to actually make the little shortcut here, lose a lot of time getting back on the racing circuit.
Just overshooting T1 just a little bit, and if I'm not wrong, I think Psycho might have made a mistake, because last lap, around this point, I believe Psycho was actually 2 seconds ahead of Moritz Hiccup, so I don't know what happened there for the gap to just close up, but
yeah, good call.
I don't think Hiccup's gonna complain about that.
Hiccup, and it looks like actually Hiccup's right on the pace of Psycho Kaiza. Psycho Kaiza's last lap was a 159.02 compared to Moritz Hiccup's 149.145, so that is definitely a big mistake for the Technoburst Racing Team driver. So we'll see if Moritz Hiccup is able to take any advantage of that mistake. Meanwhile, at the head of the field, 10 seconds ahead of this of this battle, Akito Suzukawa has not set a foot wrong so far in this race. Keeps his first position from his pole qualifying lap, so very good job from him so far. However, there's still 40 minutes left to go in the race, so we'll see how it all pans out from here. But going back to the second place battle between Moritz Hiccup and Psycho Kaiza, nothing between these two so far.
It seems like Psycho is starting to maybe put the gap on Hiccup once again.
You know what? You can see in the far side of the picture, you can see Ryoma Kirihara and Riska Kyoso battling. Riska Kyoso already right on the back of Ryoma Kirihara. However, we will keep on this battle right now. We'll take a little bit of a ride with Moritz Hiccup.
Yeah, the 720 just sounds beautiful, I will say that.
Coming to the second chicane, very hard braking here. Moritz Hiccup trying to make up any ground he can by just getting to the brakes much later, as deep as you can. Now into the first set of the les modes. Very hard to sort of get the apex here. Maybe clips the inside a bit too much, loses a lot of time. Second les modes, let's see if they can get any more ground here. It bounces off the inside curb. Looks like Psycho Kaiza is running away a little bit.
Yeah, the small mistake of trying to cut. Seems like Hiccup thought it was gonna maybe hit the wall and just try to go a bit wide on the exit, but went a bit too wide.
Ooh, looks like Psycho Kaiza made a little mistake there too.
Yep. Seems like his entry into Ascari was a bit slidey, but it's not gonna be enough to let Hiccup catch up.
So the battle still rages on between these two drivers. These two very strong at Monza today. However, Akito Suzukawa just very happily letting them battle, just running away from this sort of little kerfuffle, little sort of a boxing match here. speaking of boxing match, we have Cody Lionheart and Isaac Umbras battling for the 8th position still. Looks like Cody Lionheart is caught back up, so we'll see if Cody is able to get past Isaac without much drama. Coming into Parabolica, looks like Cody Lionheart has a bit of a toe on Isaac Umbras, so he might be able to take advantage of it. Peeks to the inside, not close enough. Gonna have to settle back in. However, Isaac Umbras is gone. Maybe, yes, a little too wide. So Cody Lionheart is gonna just sneak on the inside. Maybe have a bit of a drag. No, actually, Isaac Umbras is able to clear the German driver coming into the straight. Now into the first chicane. We'll see who is more brave on the brakes. Might be Cody Lionheart. We'll see. Cody Lionheart very late on the brakes. A huge lunge. Makes it work though.
Almost there. I think he tapped the sausage curb on the inside of the second half of the T1 chicane.
What a move.
It allows Isaac to catch back up, and that Merc does have plenty of power behind it. So while the Ferrari is newer, that Merc is just gonna have it on outright speed. Going to Della Roggia, but Isaac backs out.
Ooh, looks like Cody Lionheart goes over that sausage curb on the first sort of left-hander, so actually doesn't lose a lot of time there. But don't want to play too many games with those sausage curves.
Oh yeah, no.
So meanwhile, looks like Cody Lionheart with that amazing move coming into the first chicane. Just what a dive! Oh my goodness, I'm not sure if it was a lucky accident there or just completely calculated, but Cody Lionheart just absolutely flew in there like a torpedo and made it clean. So now Cody Lionheart's going to get to work on iMagic Zanes as Akito Suzukawa is first of the lead runners to make their mandatory stop. So Psycho Kaiza and Morisuka will cruise on by, however, they have yet to make their mandatory stop. We'll take a look back at Isaac Umbras. Isaac Umbras in the number 722, option 13, old AMG.
Isaac has been putting that old Mercedes to pretty good use as he now comes into the pits for his mandatory pit stop.
We'll take a look at Akito Suzukawa. Akito Suzukawa spent 34 seconds stopped in the pit stall, so we'll take a look at the rest of the drivers once they come in. But at the moment, your overall lead so far not regarding Akito sort of pitting is Psycho Kaiza. Looks like Morisuka did lose a bit of time, but we do have a battle between Reisuke Kyoso and Ryoma Kirihara. Reisuke Kyoso going wide, sort of losing a bit of control, exiting the second Lesmos, however is able to keep it straight, able to sort of correct it, and no harm, no foul for the Mirai United VTuber Racing Team driver up against the Dragstorm Racing Team Aston Martin racer. We'll see if Reisuke Kyoso dives into the pits anytime soon here, or if it's Ryoma Kirihara.
From what I know, the McLaren is better on its tires compared to the Aston, so I think as Kirihara might want to pit relatively soon, because that McLaren is not going to stop putting pressure on that Aston.
However, it is very easy to sort of wear out your tires being the chaser, because you can actually spend a lot of time sort of pushing the car, trying to get into the back of the driver, sort of outbraking yourself. It's very easy you can have it the other way as well, and you as a lead driver can take advantage of that.
Yeah, you know, that is actually true. I forgot about that.
As Ryoma Kirihara goes over one of the sausage curbs into the first chicane, however, is able to retain there. Oh my goodness! Whoa, where does that bounce come from? Oh my goodness! It was like a lowrider turning on the hydraulics there. As Reisuke Kyoso, I think, goes over like a little like a speed bump there. Like, did he run over like a groundhog? Well,
is there a sinkhole forming at Monza right now?
Yeah, that was pretty interesting. As Reisuke Kyoso just has a little bit of a bounce there, turns on the hydraulics, like he's straight out of Compton there.
Yeah, he's trying to do like the Need for Speed Underground to speedrun strats, where you use a hydraulic to get a better launch.
As
so he's going, it's wide.
Goes wide again. This is Jordan Brunch, a lap down, unfortunately, for the I believe one of the other option 13 drivers. But yeah, as we see, Isaac Umbra's right there, about to, well, actually a lap down, however, he has taken his pit stop, so, not representative of his actual position here just yet. As you see,
And I
Ryoma
think,
Kittyhara goes
oh,
wide into the sand. A little bit of a trip into the kitty litter.
yeah, that's gonna be problematic going to Parabolica with those tires. Those tires are gonna be very dirty. That thing was in the gravel.
Probably the wrong driver to go into the kitty litter. That should have been Cody Lionheart. We'll see if Ryoma Kittyhara takes this opportunity to dive into the pits this time. Yes, looks like Ryoma Kittyhara sort of relinquishes their third position to Reisuke Kyoso to take a little bit of a visit to pit road for their mandatory stop. And so does Psycho Kaiza. So Reisuke Kyoso in the second position now. So we'll see if Reisuke Kyoso manages to take advantage of the clear track ahead. I say clear track ahead, but he does have Isaac Umbras just in front of them.
Yeah, but the gap seems big enough that hopefully Reska won't catch Isaac too fast. But we'll see.
We'll take a look at Akito Suzugawa and Psycho Kaiza in the pits. We'll see how far Psycho Kaiza is to the net leader. We'll take a look at the map here. Psycho Kaiza actually gets going pretty early here, but that's still going to be a pretty sizable gap. So, unfortunately for the Technoburst Racing team driver, I'm not going to be able to gain any time on those pit stops. It looks like Akito hit it just on the mark there.
If Aki seems to be commanding this Italian V-Prix very well from pole all the way to now after pit cycles are gonna be done.
Meanwhile, we have this battle which has been going on for quite a while. The train looks like it's dispersed a little bit so far as of yet, but the remnants of it between Lionheart and Mentrix Zanes, excuse me, is still present. And as we have a yellow flag on the circuit, that is Jordan Brunch, who has gotten himself turned around. Oh my goodness, that is a huge hit.
It's a massive hit. That's gonna be like around 10 seconds. That has been like 10 seconds of damage right there.
Probably even more. That was a pretty fast sort of, he was going pretty fast into that Armco barrier. You see Jordan Bunch again goes spinning. Probably a lot of damage already on that 720S. So unfortunately for the Team Brunch driver, the solo driver just not... Oh my goodness, Cody Lionheart was so close! We're gonna have to take a look at that. We'll take a look at Cody Lionheart here.
Comes around.
Oh my goodness.
Like, that has to be like very scary, because the thing about mid-engine is that it does understeer a little bit on throttle. So he's just on throttle, trying to turn the car, seeing nothing's happening, just has to like let go. Otherwise, that thing is gonna be a head-on collision with Jordan Brunch's McLaren there.
As we see, Isaac Umbras, yeah, making a little mistake. It is chicane, no harm, no foul. Ryoma Tateyama also having a little bit of a in the background. But we'll take a look at Psycho Kaiza here in net second position. Moritz Hiccup in the lead so far, however, they have yet to take their mandatory stop. We'll see if they'll be able to, or if they'll dive into the pits anytime soon. Moritz Hiccup doing a pretty good job in the older 720S.
It seems like he wants to go for another lap. Moritz might be trying to extend the stint on these tires as much as he can, but there's only 23-ish minutes left. So he's gonna have to take that pit stop soon. Sorry, dude.
As Reisuke Kyoso is also in the pits. So it looks like Moritz Hiccup and Cody Lionheart will be the sole drivers yet to take their mandatory pit stop. We'll take a look at Cody Lionheart, see if he is going to dive in this lap. Cody Lionheart probably thinking that his tires are pretty good, even though I think he's spun like once.
Yeah, just a small spin, I think, on the exit of Della Rosia, but nothing too big. So
there he goes.
Tires are probably still fine.
Probably playing the long game, might be trying the overcut here. Might be a
Yeah, I
valid
mean,
strategy given how much clear track ahead of him he has.
yeah, right now is a prime time to just start banging those laps in.
Especially since just being in such action from start to halfway.
Probably just try to appreciate a bit of clean track as well.
So actually, great job from Cody Lionheart today. Unfortunately, he did get into a bit of an incident with Lucas Lichten at the start. He was fourth at the beginning stages of the race before then, but right now actually getting some TV time for a great performance still. I mean, second position even before pit stops. That's a great place to be in. 43 seconds behind Moritz Hiccup, but you know, hats off to him. Definitely has been improving this whole season so far. Very great to see some drivers here in the Vtracc challenge improving their skills, getting more consistent, being able to race each other better. Always such a great sight to see.
Yeah, and I think part of that is because we as a community over on tracc.eu, we like to help each other, So all this improvement, we love seeing it. I think it's just nice to see everybody getting asking for advice and getting advice, and that advice actually working out. I think it makes everybody happy
I wonder when
to
I'll get paid
see.
for my coaching. Just kidding. Oh, looks
Like,
like Cody Lionheart actually
oh,
wanted to do a bit of drifting there. So yeah, there he goes.
okay,
Right hand side indicator coming on.
yeah.
So definitely
Looks like
maybe
those tires are done.
yeah, definitely probably prime time to go into the pits if it wasn't already. So looks
Yeah.
like he will relinquish second place to Akito Suzugawa, who is about to lap Palu Kai. Palu Kai, just unfortunate for that driver today. It's in such a nice looking livery, unfortunately, was mired in also some of the lap 1 drama and had a big off at Ascari not much, not too long ago in the race, and had to fix all that damage. So, stuck in 11th position, just running around for points at the moment. Actually, I'm not sure how the points work here. I think it's points up to 10th position, so might not even have a point here, unfortunately, for the Yukai Racing driver. Just maybe banking on Isaac Umbers to have a bit of a mistake here.
It seems like Pulu just is not having a good time around Monza today. Just the lap one overshooting T1, and then just
Ooh.
everything going downhill still.
Meanwhile, I saw a little bit of a Akito getting a little bit climbing up on that inside curb into Lesmo 1, getting a little bit too close to that inside Armco barrier,
Yeah.
but fortunately doesn't clatter it or anything. Meanwhile, Moritz Hiccup is playing the long game here, not pitting
Yeah.
yet.
I mean, I know that the old 720S does hold its tires very well, but I forgot it held it this well. Just still turning those laps. That thing, I don't think that thing even lost any bit of its pace.
And actually, I'm looking at the lap times at the moment. Looks like Hiccup's last lap was a 149.187, and they were battling with Psycho Kaiza was a 149. He turned a 149.290. So actually, not doing too bad of a job staying out in front here. Just clocking in laps, sort of staying on these tires, might not be a bad strategy call after all. However, they are going to have to dive into pits sometime soon, and we'll see where they end up being. Might want to just sort of leapfrog Psycho Kaiza somehow, because they were actually losing a lot of pace to Psycho Kaiza. So might be sort of thinking about that.
Yeah, but let's hope that he does actually go into the pits, because there's only 18 minutes left, and when you're lapping out Monza, that time does kind of tick faster than it feels like, because the lap is so fast in terms of like top speed. So you don't think you're spending that much time, but in reality, you're spending almost 2 minutes just
Looks like
driving
he
around.
heard you.
Yep, nice. Yep, listen to my advice.
And
But not all the time.
as they are diving into the pits now, we'll see where they end up compared to Sakakaiza and the leader too. The leader, Akito Suzugawa, might be too far ahead at the moment. One thing, I don't know if you have noticed, looks like cloud cover has actually went over the track itself. So we might see a bit of change in the conditions here.
Track might get a bit colder, but that, if I'm not wrong, that might just mean faster lap times, because I think we're slightly above optimum, like good temperatures for fast laps.
We'll see who it benefits and who it doesn't, because some drivers might have their pressures too high, maybe, you know, or may have their pressures too low, or maybe it's just not in the right range. As you see Akito Suzugawa get past Moritz Hiccup, we'll see where Seiko Kaiza ends up relative to this driver, but we'll see who it benefits. So far, it's not too big of a change temperature-wise, but we will find out here as Moritz Hiccup is out of the pits, quite a far ways ahead of Seiko Kaiza, so great job from the number 34 720S driver. We'll see if Seiko Kaiza is able to gain any more ground here as Moritz Hiccup is on their outlap.
Yes, it seems like Moritz Hiccup was able to pull off a very solid overcut on Seiko Kaiza there.
Meanwhile, at the mid-pack, once again, heating up as usual, it is Cody Lionheart and Eric Gregus.
Eric Gregus, as we said, made their debut on the last round, I believe, and have been just flying in that Lambo, which is pretty respectable thing, because the Lambo is not an easy car to drive.
Cody Lionheart has a bit of a toe, has a bit of a pace advantage coming in straight. Going to try that dive into the inside that he did on, I believe it was Isaac Umbras, and makes it stick. So a great move once again from Cody Lionheart, just the torpedo making it happen here. What a wonderful pass there from the Heart Gas Racing Team driver.
Yeah, I think Cody has realized that the Ferrari 296 does have some pretty solid brakes. I think he's now taking full advantage of the incredible braking performance that the Ferrari does provide.
However, looks like Eric Gerges might have gotten a little closer there on that last sort of turn on the second chicane. Now coming into the first set of Lesmos, Cody Lionheart, Cody seems to be pulling a bit of a gap on Gregus, so Gregus might not have the pace to contest with Cody Lionheart, and Cody Lionheart is going to try and at least gain some time on Lucas Lichten. However, Lucas Lichten is a little bit faster than Lionheart, so that might be a little bit ambitious, to say the least. But so far, so good for the number 39 Cody Lionheart.
Yeah, it's gonna take another mistake from Lucas, I think, for Cody to catch back up to him. But right now, I think his main concern is gonna be Eric Gregus, who is, I think, not that much slower compared to Cody. So,
well, let's look at the last lap times. Cody Lionheart did a 149 last lap. Let's see what he does coming across the line here, just about exiting Parabolica, and Eric Gerges just following right behind. So I have a good sort of meter stick. So 150 from Cody Lionheart, 152 from Eric Gerges. So Eric Gerges definitely struggling on pace compared to Lionheart. So Lionheart might have a pretty easy time here pulling away, but he did have to work for that pass, and that was a pretty good pass indeed.
yeah, and Eric Gregus might just be having a bit of taking a bit careful, because as I said, the Lambo is not an easy car to drive, especially because it is a naturally aspirated engine, so it's gonna have a very much instant torque, and this thing's already pretty torquey on its own, so you gotta be a bit careful on corner exits.
It is getting pretty dark here on the track. We'll see if it benefits Seiko Kaiza here, as Seiko Kaiza is sort of having a stalemate here between Moritz Hiccup and himself. Coming across the line, actually lost a bit of time on that last lap compared to Moritz Hiccup. About a 0.3 difference between the lead driver and Seiko Kaiza. So, sort of mired here in third place, not able to get any ground on the 720S out in front. But anything can change, especially we've seen from the accidents, from the sort of little mistakes we've seen at Ascari, especially with the 720S. I wonder if the 720S actually struggles at that turn.
I think it's just a lot of the cars seem to struggle around Ascari, but it does seem to depend on your suspension setup more than anything. So if you have a bit of a stiff suspension, you're gonna have a bit of trouble.
As we see, actually, Reisca Kyoso there in the back of the picture there. So Reisca Kyoso looking to maybe... Oh, Psycho Kaiza goes a little bit too close to that inside Armco and loses a lot of time having to try to recover the car. So that's a lot of time lost already to Moritz Sickup, though we see the dirt picking up from Moritz Sickup's car. As I see, Ryoma Kirihara is around, potentially. We'll see what's happened here.
What happened here? Oh, it just bounces off the
Oh,
curb.
my goodness.
Ooh. I didn't know they had kangaroos in Italy.
Kirihara, probably a dragon, probably wanted to sort of fly like a dragon, however. Probably not what you want to do in the Aston Martin. As I said, of course, a little bit of moment, actually.
Yeah.
It changed Ryoma Kirihara's livery to the previous rounds, and all of a sudden, now Kirihara is back to his current livery, so, yeah.
Oh my god, you're right. That bounce.
That was a pretty interesting thing to happen there.
It's kind of like that one scene from Cars 3 where Lightning McQueen jumps off the cliff and now he's in his old livery. Just straight up that. Boing.
So here we go. Psycho Kaiza gets up on the sausage curb again. Psycho Kaiza maybe struggling for pace as Moritz Sickup actually sets their fastest lap of the race, a 1:48.265. So definitely has pace. However, it's maybe a little too late with a 15-second gap behind Akito Suzugawa at the moment. Knock on wood. Hopefully Aki doesn't make a huge mistake here, but if he does, then Moritz Hiccup is gonna be able to take advantage of it. And I'm not sure if Moritz Hiccup has actually ever won a Vtracc challenge race.
From my past memory, and I kind of do have the memory of a goldfish, so I could be wrong, but I think the best result that Moritz has gotten was like a P3. So this might actually be, even if it's not a win, it's going to be Moritz's best result.
Which is a win. Which is a win of itself, you could say.
Yeah, exactly.
Meanwhile, how long?
Like getting a close video.
Meanwhile, how long has it been since Akito has won a Vtracc challenge race?
Oh, I think it's been a few months now.
It's been a while since Akito has had a pole, and it's been quite a while since Akito has had a win. We'll see if he's able to keep up the pace. As I see some drivers have lights on. It is getting pretty dark. Could it possibly rain?
I don't think it's... I mean, the weather is showing it's just going to be cloudy, and even if rain was going to come, it has to just start pouring down. Like, you would have to... That cloud has to be carrying an ocean for that rain to have any effect, I'd say.
Crazier things have happened, though, so we'll see. As Akito tries to get past Jordan Brunch here, Jordan might make it a little bit easier on him. We'll see. Palukai there in the picture, and Ryuma Tateyama. Cars that are also a lap down. Ryuma Tateyama just there in 12th place, just getting a few laps in, just clocking them in, trying to finish the race. As is Jordan Brunch, unfortunately for him today, just had some issues, I believe, with the McLaren. As Jordan Brunch will probably Ooh, that was close. Cool. I don't think Akito realized what Jordan was trying to do there. Akito probably trying to getting the toe off of Jordan, but Jordan was trying to slow down. That would have been a little bit of catastrophic there.
That would have been the caster's curse that we almost inflicted on the man right there.
Oh no! Speaking of caster's curse, Jordan Brunch goes off again. It just goes from bad for worse for this driver.
You know what? He gave me the caster's curse last week. I'm not feeling too bad about that.
Okay, fair enough. And then you see more sick up here second. Yeah. Go on, sorry. I'm just like...
Yeah, it's fine. Jokes aside, though, yeah, kind of unfortunate for Jordan Brunch there to just spin out on Oscar, but it is a tough corner, so can't blame him there.
So
I spun at Lesmo, which is an easier corner. I'm not going to blame him.
Well, Lesmo's could be a very hard corner to get. to get right sometimes, especially when you're just on the ragged edge. It's like when you're trying to turn in, get the car rotated, you get clipped the inside curb, and get the car upset, and get it sort of spun around. So, not too humiliating to have a incident there. Though once I had an incident at what's it called? I had a incident Parabolica once, so can't be embarrassing as that.
I mean, well, were you on the sausage curb?
No, it was just by myself.
No. What was like? Did you just get on the gas too early?
I don't know. I just sort of spun the car around. It just happened. Well, I mean, it could happen sometimes, but it's just not. It's a hit to your own pride when you just sort of spin around and nobody's around you, and you just see cars around you as you have to just sort of wait and just sort of cry to yourself as you just wait there, seeing everybody just go past you, saying like, "Hey, a freebie." But either way, these drivers keeping it clean, not spitting out, not doing any dumb little mistakes like I would. Here, Moritz Hiccup very stoutly in second position, Psycho Kaiser in third, the Shikikan of the grid. I keep saying that because, I don't know, I just find it very amusing. But yes, the Shikikan, the commander of the grid, commanding his way into third position. Probably wants a little bit more than third, however, Moritz Hiccup doing a great job of pulling away as iMagic Zanes is off the circuit. We'll see what happened here.
Like might have just overshot T1.
Very easy thing to do, very easy thing to sort of miss your braking point.
Yeah. I remember one of my older races like a year ago, I did the exact same thing. Just kind of lost focus, just straight up lost focus, braked at the F1 braking point.
And that actually makes this race interesting because now Isaac Umbris has a chance to take that 9th spot away from Zanes after just that mistake. So a big mistake can just really cost you here, especially with just how razor sharp the sort of room for error there is. I'm not sure what I'm trying to say, but yeah, there's not a lot of wiggle room to make mistakes here as Isaac Umbris is flashing his lights, trying to distract Zanes any way that he can. Zanes will see if he keeps his composure here.
Vtracc, like I said before, this is one of Vtracc's better circuits, so I'm sure he'll be fine. But Isaac has been like improving each time he's been on track, so I'd say there's a chance that you could get P9 from Vtracc, but we're just gonna have to see.
I do wonder though how much if there would be a better pace advantage if Isaac Umbris did actually switch to the newer AMG. Maybe there is a bit of sort of like, maybe there's a bit of like a what if scenario here, or maybe it's just he's just the most comfortable with that older car.
I have spoken with Isaac before regarding this topic, and he did say he actually does want to switch to the newer Mercedes next season. So as Vtracc goes a bit wide there, it's going to give Isaac even more of an opportunity to just close up that gap.
Might have to hold that thought though, as we see. Maybe Isaac Umbris might be able to mount a move here. Not far away yet. I mean, too far away now. So, yeah. Oh no, actually,
Another mistake.
Yeah, big mistake from Vtracc. So Isaac Umbris will be peeking to the inside at the first Lesmos, and Zane's actually succumbed to the pressure there a bit. Maybe he thought he was going to dive in there, but he just gives a free position there, like free track position there to Isaac Umbris, though Isaac Umbris is just not close enough to take advantage of it. So now just stuck behind the Sebetonius for now. The Sebetonius getting a better exit, coming into the rundown to Ascari. We'll see what Umbris has to do here. Now into the braking zone, both drivers hard into the brakes, into the left-hand side, going over the curbs. Zane's now onto those right-hand curbs. Pretty clean. And Zane's into the sand there. I mean, Zane's, not Zane's. Umbris into the sand there, excuse me. So, a bit of a stalemate here for now.
Yeah, and speaking of Umbris and his old mark, I'm actually surprised that he hasn't had really any issues through Ascari, because that thing is a pretty stiff chassis. Like, you feel that thing bouncing around on like even the slightest curve. So again, pretty solid job from Isaac Umbris there to keep that Merc both stable and fast. As
But
we now head down to T1, Mentrix goes defensive.
Mentrix down to the inside. Actually, wow, Isaac Umbers was able to outdo him on the braking and just makes it light work of the 720S driver as he's able to just slot his way past. Great move from Isaac Umbers to be brave on the brakes. We'll take a look at that again.
Just gonna give it another watch from Isaac Umbers' onboard there. Mentrix going defensive, but that just gives the Mercedes even more advantage just because of the raw power of that thing. As Mentrix just brakes a bit too early there and just gives the position to Isaac Umbers.
So meanwhile, looks like as this replay ends, looks like iMetric Zanes may have caught up a little bit. As you see, iMetric Zanes just back there, trying to gain back any time that he can. And it looks like Moritz Sickup has nearly had the fastest lap of the race of 48.100. So Moritz Sickup is definitely making up time. However, with only 7 minutes left and 12 seconds to make up, I'm not sure if it's going to be enough for him.
It's going to require a huge mistake from Aki for Moritz to really have a chance at the win. And it seems like Aki is just driving nice and comfortably.
All Aki has to do is just clock in those laps and pretty much just keep his pace consistent and don't push it too much. He's got a big margin to keep work with. Meanwhile, Moritz Sickup has everything to lose here. Well, I should say Aki has everything to lose here, but Moritz Sickup just on the ragged edge at the moment, so just keep forcing that driver to sort of keep on pushing as we see Isaac Umbers maybe trying to squeeze iMetric Zanes into the inside there. However, doesn't do it all the way, so that maybe gave Zanes a moment to sort of dive to the inside. However, Zanes doesn't take the bait and sort of slots in behind, so it's gonna have to take another attempt from him to sort of get past Isaac Umbers and number 722 AMG. We'll see coming into the second chicane if there is any improvement here, any sort of time gain. Meanwhile, something I've actually been watching while we look at this battle, Ryosuke Kyoso has been gaining time on Saiko Kaiza, so we might have a battle for the last spot on the podium soon.
Yeah. I've been so focused on Isaac and Mentrix just having a brawl for P9. I didn't even realize. Yeah, Ryosuke is only.
Oh no, Cody Leinhardt's around. Another Ascari victim, it seems.
Yep, just that inside curve there in the middle. It's a lot slippier than it appears. So if you take it just a little bit too tight.
Meanwhile, we missed the pass for 9th position between iMetric Zanes and Isaac Umbra. Sorry to interrupt you, but oh my goodness, what was that? Wow, what a move! I don't know if that's legal, but
that is, okay. I will say that is definitely a track cut. But we'll see what the stewards decide on that.
Yeah, that was definitely an interesting interpretation of track limits there. What a move, regardless.
Isaac is flashing his lights. I think he knows that Mentrix cut the track.
Yeah, Isaac might be super peeved here. I would be too. Like, give that position back. You did not earn it correctly. But iMetric Zane's probably like, Steve Ed Cope.
Steve Ed Cope. But yeah, I mean, laughter aside, yeah, you can't even get 4 tires onto those sausage curbs without getting a track cut warning. I can't imagine if I don't know how Mentrix has it gone. I'm sure he got a track limit warning though.
Yeah, like he had to have one. As you see, iMetric Zanes makes a mistake there.
And Mentrix just goes wide as we have Ryosuke on the back of Saiko Kaiza there. I almost mixed their surnames up. They're pretty similar.
Oh my goodness, wow. Saiko Kaiza just squeezing Ryosuke Kyoso on the outside, nearly into the grass, and actually into the grass, into Curva Grande. Ryosuke Kyoso not liking that as he flashes his lights. Saiko Kaiza just defending that position for all it's worth. That last position on the podium just so valuable to these drivers, and you could see it.
And Ryosuke has to make the move very soon. There's about a lap and a half left, or about lap and a half. So if he's gonna make a move, he's gonna have to do it.
Meanwhile, Vtracc has the fastest lap of the race. However, they are still 10 seconds behind Akito Asuzagawa, so Asuzagawa just clocking into laps, just doing his job and staying in the lead, so it might not be worth much, but this battle for third is worth something, especially with the huge points gain Reisuke Kyoso might gain, especially with Psycho Kaiza. I'm not sure if Psycho Kaiza has had a podium finish in a while here. It's tough to remember for me, but Psycho Kaiza has always been so close yet so far.
Yeah, I think it's definitely been mostly due to Psycho's dedication to the Lexus, but I think it's become pretty obvious now that his preferred car is now
Gonna
the
have to
Aston.
hold that thought as we go side by side into the start-finish straight, coming into the first chicane. Who's gonna be later on the brakes? Who's gonna be more brave here? Will it be Psycho Kaiza? Will it be Reisuke Kyoso? As we see, Psycho Kaiza to the inside. Oh, nothing between these two. Hopefully no contacts. Reisuke Kyoso goes just a little bit too deep, and Psycho Kaiza is able to hold on to that last spot on the podium, but Reisuke Kyoso does have the pace to keep that battle going, though that's going to be a lot of time lost already. You're going to have to gain back everything. However, with the pace that Reisuke Kyoso has, once again, it might be just a matter of moments here, coming into the second chicane, already making up a lot of positions, a lot of ground on Kaiza under the brakes. So Kyoso a lot better under braking than Kaiza is. However, Kaiza just super aggressive with his defensive driving. It's going to be hard to get around him.
Yes, like Kaiser is not someone that really gives you the position all willy-nilly. So if Reska is gonna get that position, he's gonna have to earn it. It's gonna be a proper it's gonna be a proper gladiator battle for the last spot on the podium there. As we now head down to Ascari, Reska's on the rear bumper of that Aston Martin of Psycho Kaiser. Getting a bit twitchy there on the entry of Ascari, I think.
This might be the final lap as Akito Asuzagawa is about to complete this one. We'll see what the stewards say. Not yet. Not yet the final lap, so I'll still yet to play for here. We'll see as the time clock ticks down to 0 to about 4 big eggs here. We'll see if the white flag flies, but not a lot of time left for Reisuke Kyoso to emerge his way back onto the podium. Not the way you want to get his race started, but still able to recover enough to have a shot at the podium spot here against Psycho Kaiza, who is just clawing for any momentum he can get, any chance he could stay on that final spot here. As you see Reisuke Kyoso on the outside.
Reska looked for the switchback, but it seems like Psycho did see it coming and just held the middle of the track as he pushes Reska to the edge of the track,
this is
covering him off.
And this is the final lap. This is the final lap.
Yep, it's all or nothing.
Here we go. Oh my gosh, they are so close together. Nearly made contact. Reisuke Kyoso gets on the sausage curve. Reisuke Kyoso's on the inside of Lesbo's one. They nearly made contact. Oh, Reisuke Kyoso has to back out. That would have been catastrophic for both of these drivers, as both of these...
They both spin.
Psycho Kaiza made a big mistake here, exiting Lesbos 1, Lesbos 2. We'll see who has the upper hand here. Now, Reisuke Kyoso has the toe on Psycho Kaiza. Reisuke Kyoso, as we've seen, has been better on the brakes, but Psycho Kaiza just making that Aston Martin as wide as he can, coming into Ascari side by side now. Oh my goodness, will he be able to make it around the outside? No, he won't. He's so forced into the onto the curbs. Contact there. No, it might be too late here to make a move into Parabolica. We'll see as Akito Suzugawa finishes the race. He is the winner, but we'll get back to Akito. Coming to Parabolica might be it for Reisuke Kyoso. No, it might not be. They are so close together. It is going to be potentially a drag race. No, looks like Psycho Kaiza will hold on to that final podium spot and will complete the podium as Psycho Kaiza comes away victorious after just a huge boxing match between these two VTubers. But the biggest prize of them all goes to Akito Suzugawa, his first win in quite a while. Congratulations to him. He needed it after such a long time.
Yeah, I can imagine he's just screaming in that car right now with excitement. So long, it's been so long since Aki's been on the top of that podium as Reska is just flying by.
Yeah.
He's yeah,
I don't I don't
incredible.
I don't know if Raceco knows that the race is over, but yes, what a great race it's been for Aki, especially after so much bad luck he's been through. Just needed this result. Meanwhile, Ivano, I want to shout out to Moritz Hiccup. Oh my gosh, as I hiccup myself.
Yeah, as you yeah.
Yeah, yes, but Moritz Hiccup just celebrating
Oh,
their best finish as the best lap time of the race so far. Actually,
was that
overall it was a 1:47.950. So a great
yes,
result.
and that's the 47 that we were expecting in quali that comes in the race. Wow.
So meanwhile, we go back to Akito Suzukawa, an amazing race. Just wow. Even with a 13 car field, Vtracc Challenge never fails to deliver in its racing product. But just
Exactly.
what a race it's been, Ivano. I can't believe.
I, I am I am still grinning after that insane final lap between Sakakaiza and Retsuka Kyozo there.
And what about that pass from Zane's? I mentioned Zane's, not the most legal move, but oh my goodness, that will be a highlight of the season so far. What?
What is it? What is it with Monza that brings out a different level of intensity from the drivers? Like it's something. It triggers something in our brains that just makes us. I don't know, I wouldn't say insane. I'd say just brave is a good term. I would say I'd put it. It makes all of us a bit too brave, but I'd say it's good because it makes for some very solid racing.
Well, with that amazing race out the way, next round in 2 weeks, we will be at the season finale at Spa-Francorchamps. We'll see potentially Lucas Lichten sort of clinch the title for Team Iris and himself, and see if anybody else will have any, and see if Akito will be able to keep up his momentum coming to that round, or if Lucas Lichten will be able to recover and win once again and keep the streak alive. Well, I shouldn't say streak, but keep it at least a little bit more perfect, I'd say. I mean,
Yeah,
6 out of 7 isn't too bad, or 7 out of 8, I should say.
yeah.
I should look at the results for each race, but I'm pretty sure Lucas Lichten won every round except this one so far. Congrats to Akito for breaking that streak. But yes, thank you. Oh my goodness. What a great race it's been.
Yeah, you just can't speak right now. You're still like too like starstruck from that, aren't you?
Yeah. So, with that out the way, thank you so much, everybody, for watching. It's been a pleasure to broadcast this. Next week will be Track GT at Spa-Francorchamps before we have the Vtracc Challenge. That will be at the same time between the Sim Racers, and then after that, it will be the season finale for this championship. But until then, we'll see you next time, and we'll see you on the racetrack. Goodbye for now.